Yeah, well, I would just say you've heard the saying before, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And the way that you build trust is through consistent behavior over time. And if you're going to connect with people, so I break down, I keep things simple. To me, marketing is connecting with customers. Business development is creating opportunities. Sales is quoting and closing. And if you're going to go through that process, that first piece of marketing of connecting with customers, you have to meet people where they're at. And in today's day and age, where they're at is digital. They're online. 70% of the buying process takes place prior to even making the phone call. And so from a digital marketing standpoint of telling your story, it's a chance to build trust. It's a chance to build your personal brand. It's a chance to build the company brand. And like I started out, people are doing business with people they know, like, and trust. So if you're not telling your story, chances are you're going to have a miss.
Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of the Construction MF'ers. My name is Scott Peper. I'm the CEO and founder of Mobilization Funding. And today I have a great guest with me from the dirt world, my friend Jason Richmond. He is the COO of BuildWitt. He is going to go through all things that BuildWitt can do for you: training, education, free tools, and of course, the summit. We're doing year 2 of the summit. We're going to kick that off this year. Jason, welcome to the Construction MF'ers. How you doing?
Hey, Scott, great to be here, man. Super excited and love that logo in the back. Construction MFers, that's super cool.
Well, you are a construction MFer in the dirt world, even more so. And that's why we're having you on, man. You help the construction world every single day.
Absolutely, man. It's an honor to be here and super excited to get into it with you.
Well, first and foremost, man, I want to just thank you for all the stuff you do for me and Mobilization Funding and our crew and network. We don't need to go through the long list, but you've been great to us. And so thank you for that. I wanted to say that publicly to everybody else, things that you do well beyond stuff that nobody would even know. So I think it's important to let people know that, because as I want to talk about what BuildWitt does and what you guys are doing, not only now, but actually your plans. I want to get into that. I want people to know what kind of people they are working with there. So why don't
Totally.
you jump in and just tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got passionate to construction. You've been at BuildWitt a while now, and you've seen, all different evolutions that you guys have had from the start of when you got there till now and where you're going. But give everybody a little background of your construction world, how you got into it, and then we'll kick it off with BuildWitt.
Yeah, totally. So I am actually a fourth generation road builder. When the Indianapolis 500 racetrack went from bricks to asphalt, my great grandfather, John Fowler, paved the track for the Grady brothers. My dad has been in construction his whole life. And when I turned 18 years old, I went to work for my dad on a grade crew. I started out on a shovel and worked 3 years on a grade crew, 4 years on an asphalt paving crew. I was an estimator, project manager, business development manager, and my last role was director of marketing and business development for a large material supply and construction company. They have 28 aggregate facilities, 175 ready mix plants, 21 asphalt plants, and just had products and services for the dirt world here in the Midwest. I live in Indiana. At the time I was working for them, we really needed to look for a way to position our organization from an employer branding standpoint. And I'd been following Aaron and Dan, reached out to them to help us with some marketing services. And I think you know how this ended. They ended up hiring me. So January of 2022, I joined BuildWitt to run the creative services division, which is the marketing piece of that business. And 6 months in, just working with Dan and Aaron and the team, just realized that there was a bigger opportunity for me. And Aaron asked if I would elevate to the chief operating officer role to help build out the systems and the processes and really help grow the entire business instead of just one piece of the business. So July of 2022, I made that transition, and it has been an absolute blast of a ride so far, the 2 years that I've spent at BuildWitt.
I love it. I've seen BuildWitt change a lot, even in the last 3 or 4 years. And from being just a digital marketing agency or just Aaron's social or what you are and do now, even all the way leading up to the summit and the Dirt World Summit year 2. But let's go back and just for the folks that aren't familiar with BuildWitt, talk about what the mission of BuildWitt is, and then the services and programs that you have around that business and how people can plug in.
Yeah, totally. So, long story short, Aaron started Kid with a Camera and has become, quite the business savvy entrepreneur. But in 2018, he, started the business, and it was taking photographs, sharing them on social media. Next thing you know, he's got people asking, "Hey, we need a website. Can you build us a website?" And Aaron's answer was yes. Truth was, he had absolutely zero clue how to do it, but he knew that he could reach out to friends or people and really start to figure out, like, okay, there's a need. I'm going to solve the problem. I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm going to do this. And so he started building websites. Next thing you know, he has a creative agency. Aaron has been posting on social media for the last 6 years, and his following has just, increased tremendously. Nowadays we talk about Aaron and his influence that he has because of that social following. But at the end of the day, he's really a big marketer for us, and he's a marketer for the people of what we call the dirt world. Our mission at BuildWitt is to make the dirt world a better place. And we define the dirt world as those who build and support critical infrastructure for our society. So anybody who's working on or supporting the dirt world, we feel like, is a huge part of that. We're building a business around our people life cycle, which is about attracting, hiring, training, and engaging people in the dirt world. And we do that through really kind of, I'll call it 4 core offerings, but our creative agency helps businesses with their strategy, creative, production, social media, paid ads, and website development. So we have a fully integrated creative agency. And then we have BuildWitt Jobs, which is it's a niche job board for people to place job opportunities on the job board. But it's also a place for people who are looking for a way into the dirt world to post a profile so that the two of them can ultimately connect. So we've got a hiring jobs board. BuildWitt training is used to develop people. It's microlearning training. So think of it as 3 to 5 minute lessons, courses, and learning plans. And we have those in both English and Spanish. And it's focused around some core things. So leadership, we've got intro courses, equipment, toolbox talks, partner content, how to develop your own content. And we've always got new content that's kind of coming around. And then the last piece is that dirt world piece. And that's really used to engage people. It's a way for us to unite the industry around leadership and workforce development. It started with the summit, and now we're hosting some workshops. We just finished having one at First Form. We're in the process of, in June, we're going to have one out at Knife River. And so, yeah, really excited about kind of that core offering that we have of the creative agency, the jobs board, the training platform, and then the dirt world.
So someone in construction, and all different size companies, whether you're a general contractor or a subcontractor, I know can plug into your organization. But for those out there, in your words, listening to us now, what's the best way for someone in construction, depending on where they are in their journey or their company size or even type, what's the best way for them to plug into those different verticals?
Yeah, that's really good. So I'll first say this, like Aaron, the way that we think about it is like people to people. Like Aaron is connecting with people. So if you're just an individual out there, you're listening, you're like, man, I'd like to hear from somebody that's seeing the world, that's traveling the world, that is telling stories about construction and the construction industry. You can really engage with Aaron Witt on social media. He's got an incredible YouTube channel. There's something that comes out every single week. And then he's got the Dirt Talk podcast. And so, I would just say that, if you're out there and looking for a way to engage with us, social media, the vlog, the podcast, and then Aaron does run around the country and he does speaking engagements, at different places as well. From a B2B standpoint, we definitely have the BuildWitt products. So that's the creative piece, the jobs piece, and the training piece, of our business. And then from a B2C, that's really where the dirt world comes in. And so we have the workshops and the summit, but you kind of hearing it here first live. I don't even know when this is going to air, but I'm just going to let you guys know. We are going to be launching Dirt World Connect, which is an online community. It's going to be a place that people can come into. There's going to be these different spaces and places where, it's almost like its own private network or a social network where you can come in and learn and grow from the people that are within it. It's almost like a way of peer grouping and networking. You kind of find your people, find your space that you want to learn about. But Dirt World Connect is going to be a huge way for people to connect with us as well.
I love it. And now when is that going to launch?
Well, let's see here. This is we're recording this in March, so probably in May. I'm gonna say May, June-ish, nice. Something like that. So we're working hard on it right now.
Now, for BuildWitt training, is this for someone like who's an entrepreneur wanting to get educated, information, avoid a mistake, they should jump into the micro learnings? Or is this someone who's, you know what, I got this whole team and staff and they need safety training, and like, should I send them here? Like, what's the best way to plug into the training platform?
Yeah. So the way that we think about training is we think about it as training and development. So development is more of the soft skills side of things. It's how to be a better communicator, how to connect, how to deal with conflict resolution. It's the leadership side of things. So, with that development side, we've got people on there like Jocko Willink and Wally Adamczyk and Jason Schroeder and Randy Blunt, and they're working on leadership, type things. And then you got the development side of things, or I'm sorry, the training side of things, which is more around kind of the hard skills. So like, for example, some of the intro courses that we have are intro around civil construction or management, estimating, labor, grade checker, operator, surface mining, asphalt paving. So it's like these intro courses, or equipment. We get into, dozers and excavators and skid steers, how to do a machine walk around. But what I would say about BuildWitt training and micro learning in general is it does not replace your training. It is another tool in your toolkit to utilize on a daily basis. Still need to be doing the monthly get-togethers, still need to be doing the quarterly, still need to be doing the annual trainings, and it does not replace that in person. However, one thing though that we're finding it's like super powerful is a micro learning training can be assigned to a team. The team out in the field, they watch it 3 to 5 minutes on their smartphone. They show up that morning for work. They're sitting around getting ready to do their normal toolbox talk. But instead of just checking the box and a boring old reading the paper and kind of going through the motions of a toolbox talk, it's changing the conversation. And the reason it is because everybody's now watched this video. And the truth is that 66% of people would prefer to learn from video. And micro learning, you have a retention rate of 80% or greater with micro learning. And so what happens is you come around the table, and instead of the foreman being the one that's leading the toolbox talk, now anybody that's in that circle can lead that day. And so how do they lead that toolbox talk is they'll start out by saying, hey, what video did we watch last night? Or what video did we watch this morning? And somebody will share what they learned from it. And then they'll say, okay, how could we have utilized that before? What's a mistake or a challenge or a problem that we had that we could have utilized this training differently? What are we doing today in our work? How can we utilize this skill or this lesson in the work that we're doing today? And how are we going to apply it moving forward? And so it really allows anybody in that circle, more than just a foreman, to lead that. And what I've found is that, you're building leaders all the time. And when you have to teach the material, you pay attention a little bit more to what you're learning. It's actually harder to teach than it is anything. So we're turning people, we're giving people an opportunity to lead, which is a lot of fun.
Do you think it's something like, as I hear you describe that, do you feel like, or are people currently using it as like a form of coaching for themselves, individual performance?
Totally. So one of the nice things about BuildWitt training is content can be assigned to you and you can just watch what comes at you. or you have access to the entire library. So you can go in and self-assign and go and learn about leadership or communication or a new piece of equipment, or, we have a ton of partner content now on there as well. And what partner content is, it's stuff like, hey, U-Turn Health is an amazing organization. They focus on behavioral health. They've got, incredible teams and staff. And so they're taking content, giving it to us, and our people who are on BuildWitt training can watch content from U-Turn Health. We've partnered with First Form, so they're doing nutrition, health, and wellness. We've partnered with HCSS. They're doing stuff with heavy bid and heavy job. The American Welding Society has got intro to welding. So we've got partners excited that, mobilization funding is going to partner with us as well. And you guys are going to be able to educate, around the financial side of running a business. I think cash flow is going to be an absolute incredible thing to add to the platform moving forward. But what I mean by that is this. Here's what happens. Let's just say that there are people on the team and you got to have a new foreman, and you're looking at, who am I going to promote on the team? Am I going to promote the person that's watched just the bare minimum? Or am I going to promote the person that's watched all the leadership content? And when we go do the toolbox talks, they're always excited about leading, the toolbox talk, or they're trying to find a way to implement. So my point is, people can either take one of two paths. They can either watch what they've got, or they can go above and beyond. And I think people are utilizing it as a way for them to learn and grow individually. And ultimately it is a coaching tool.
I love that. I can see that too, thinking about the site itself, how people can plug into it. And, as a business owner, it's hard to come up with things to learn and teach and train on at your team meetings, your quarterly meetings, your weekly meetings, whatever time and frequency. And having a good tool like that to just even send to the group to say, hey, look, here's something on safety for 4 or 5 minutes that everyone can watch. And you kind of do a round table around some coffee or something in the morning. Just say, hey, what was your one takeaway? It's just a good generating just a good conversation starter that a lot of folks may have listened to just on their way into the work or on their way to the site. It's good.
Yeah, 100%. And, I would just say that it starts to change the behavior and the conversations amongst the team. You can learn from podcasts, you can learn from YouTube, you can learn from books. There's a million places that you can learn something. But what has to happen is you got to share that. Like always people say, knowledge is power. Well, knowledge is power when shared. And if you start to develop people where they're constantly learning and growing, and they're showing up ready to share what they're learning, that just raises everybody on the entire team. And so whether it's through BuildWitt training or other methods, like we want the dirt world to improve. So just use what you have, listen to podcasts, books, YouTube, whatever it may be, but really come and have those conversations about how you can implement those solutions.
I love it. I love it. All right. So someone that's not in the dirt world, but maybe serves the dirt world. Think of your insurance agents, your consultants, accountants, or maybe it's just someone who listens to myself or you and find that they resonate. Can they access and utilize BuildWitt, not just the training platform, but all of BuildWitt or any of BuildWitt to benefit themselves?
Yeah. So we started out with, it was called BuildWitt Leaders, and we recorded a ton of content. And this was before we actually launched BuildWitt training. And just to let you guys know, you can go to YouTube and go to BuildWitt Leaders, and there's a ton of content that's on there for free that you can check out. So that is definitely something that I would encourage you to do if you're wanting to get, a taste of it. There's also, on buildwitt.com, you could go and see some of the different courses and things that we offer there. There's some examples for what's there. And then all of our pricing, Marcus Sheridan, they ask you answer. Everything is 100% transparent. So, if you want to see like, well, what does BuildWitt cost? It's like, there is no secrets. It's right on the website. Just go to buildwitt.com, go click on the training, scroll down to the pricing section. You can kind of see right there where it is. The way that we've priced it is really, we've done it by company size. So like 0 to 40, 40 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 300. And then over 300, we start getting into a little bit more customization, because it's really about implementation at that point. The content and the platform is easy to use, but when you start having 3,000 people or 1,000 people that you need to implement, it really changes kind of that conversation. So definitely there. The other thing is just with Dirt World, these workshops, the Summit, Connect, I would just say like if you're outside or kind of in that service part of the industry, it's a great we're building a great community, and it's all about networking. We're all learning and developing. We're all growing from each other. Tons of great brand exposure. And I would just say like it's the most innovative, collaborative group that I've ever been associated with. I've served on a lot of different associations and in different committees and on different boards. And the thing I love about kind of our community is we're very open, we're very transparent, we're very comfortable in kind of who we are and what we do, but also we're willing to share because we really want I'll give you a prime example. Dan Garcia at CW Matthews was on stage last year at the summit. He gave away every secret because the truth is you can know what needs to happen, but only very few are going to do the work.
That's right.
And so what we're excited about is we're building a community that's willing to share, because we know that the ones that are going to be the most successful are the ones that go all in and actually go for it and do it, and that are taking action. And that's what I'm excited about, is a lot of the people that we're working with, they are taking action. It's not about just identifying the problem. It's about coming up with the solutions, but most importantly, taking action.
So Jason, you talked a lot about the learning, the leadership, the teaching, the education, training, and starting as on the Aaron's the best marketer for your brand and business. Why do you think it's important for construction companies to market themselves? Like traditionally speaking, it's not something that you would see earlier, particularly a decade ago, but more so now in the last 4 or 5 years. But there's still a lot of construction contractors out there that aren't even doing anything with the marketing their business whatsoever, or they're just starting out or just scratching the surface. Like, why is it so important to do? And like, what are the benefits that someone can expect to have by marketing their company? And then what does that even mean?
Yeah, well, I would just say, you've heard the saying before, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And the way that you build trust is through consistent behavior over time. And if you're going to connect with people, so I break down, I keep things simple. To me, marketing is connecting with customers. Business development is creating opportunities. Sales is quoting and closing. And if you're going to go through that process, that first piece of marketing, of connecting with customers, you have to meet people where they're at. And in today's day and age, where they're at is digital. They're online. 70% of the buying process takes place prior to even making the phone call. And so from a digital marketing standpoint of telling your story, it's a chance to build trust. It's a chance to build your personal brand. It's a chance to build the company brand. And like I started out, people are doing business with people they know, like, and trust. So if you're not telling your story, chances are you're going to have a miss. And I would just say this, some people may be out there and thinking, well, I've got more work than I know what to do with. I get it. It makes sense. Even more reason to be marketing yourself and your business, because if you're trying to recruit somebody to come and work for your organization, the first thing that they're going to do is they're going to go to your profile. They're going to go check out you as an individual. They're going to check out, who is this person? What are they saying? How are they caring for their people? Are they sharing content? Do they live by values that I believe in? And if that's not the case, they're going to move on. They're going to go find somebody else that's doing it. And so I would just say that if you're going to market your organization, there's two things to think about. One, how are we doing this to grow our brand from an employer branding standpoint? And then two, you should always be, I've heard the saying, like, the time to fix the roof is when the sun's shining, right? So, so what does that mean? Well, I hope that the economy is booming forever, but if it's not, then all the work that you've done for those years, if you ever have to market your business to drive demand, I'd much rather put in the work for 2, 3, 4 years, so that if there is a slowdown, if there is a pullback, if there is a change, people are going to be going to that digital place, and you're going to want them to choose you.
Yeah. I was just having this conversation with somebody yesterday, and it was in one of our recording sessions. I was talking to a contractor, and they were talking about marketing, and, they're talking about getting new customers. And I said to them, what better way to get a new customer than to actually do work, let them see your work, let them know you can execute work. Having done work for years and years and years, they just see you do work, perform, do work, perform, fix a problem, perform, make a mistake, fix it, perform. And they just watch you do that. And he goes, yeah, that's the problem. You just got to crack that code. You got to get in once with them. I'm like, no, you don't. You can show them all the ways you do that right now on every job you do with everyone else. And if they watch that long enough, when it comes time that they need you or you're on deck, they know who you are. When you go in and say, this is what I do and this is how I do it, you're not just saying that. They already know that. And now you're articulating it. And you've built this image and presence, and they've created a persona around you of who you are, what you're about. That includes what your team does, how you fix problems, how you execute them, the types of jobs you do, and a consistency over time. They actually can trust that what you're doing. Now, when you show up the first time and you think it's the first time and you're trying to sell them on something, you're not starting from zero. You're not rounding the entire base. You're starting on second. And all they're doing is confirming the gut feelings that they've already had with you. Totally different process. Still one meeting, first time you're ever in front of them. You may have never even met them before, but they know who you are and they're now validating what they've watched from you. That's how you can crack the code of getting a job with a bigger company or a bigger GC or just a new customer or whoever it is that you're trying to go after in a much different way without doing anything different than what you do or already. And you don't need to get lucky. You don't give them, it's not about price.
Mm-mm.
Give them a lower
Totally.
price, take a hit on the way in so I can build a relationship. That doesn't, those aren't the people you want to build relationships with. And that is not the way to build a relationship.
Yeah, totally. No, I love that.
Marketing's the answer for that.
Totally 100% agree with you. Um, it's interesting. It's like sales. A lot of times people start thinking of that slimy words, snake oil salesman, whatever. It's like there's a negative connotation. But when you change it from sales to serving or helping, all of a sudden things change. And if you can become a servant leader that people trust, where you become the trusted source, I'm going to call Jason. Why? Because Jason helps me solve my problems. It changes everything. Yeah, we have core competencies at BuildWitt, but what we're doing is serving the dirt world. So when people call in, we're asking questions, we're listening, we're going through discovery, we're trying to figure things out. And at the end of the day, whether we offer them something that we do, great. If we don't do it, we don't just say good luck and see ya. We try to figure out, okay, who's the 2 or 3 people that we know that we can help solve that problem for that person, and make sure that we give great recommendations, great referrals, great support. And the bigger our network, the more people we know, the better off we can help solve those problems. The next time they have a problem, who are they going to call? They're going to call us. They're going to call me. And I'm going to say, you know what? Actually, this time we have a jobs board, or we have a training platform, or we have these events. So it really is this serving and helping mentality. And you can do that. It starts with marketing, building that trust, building a personal brand, building your company brand, but delivering for people and helping them solve their problems is the key to marketing.
Couldn't agree with you more. So now on the marketing end, you guys have the Dirt World Summit, and
Yes.
it's year 2. We talked about this already briefly. MF and our group has attended last year. We actually brought customers out with us. The feedback we got was fantastic. Lots of cool experiences. But from your perspective and folks listening, what can someone expect to understand? And if they decide to be part of the Dirt World Summit, what are they getting themselves into? What opportunities are there for them?
Yeah, totally. No, great. Year 1 was an incredible experience. Thank you very much for your support last year. Year 2 is going to be even better. And the crazy thing is we're already planning year 3 and 4. Pretty wild to even think about. Last year it was an idea in January. We decided to go for it in February. And, by October we had 800 people and 36 sponsors that showed up to come together around leadership and workforce development, this people life cycle. Had Jocko Willink and some incredible speakers, that were there. This year, what we got is, it's going to be in San Antonio. It's going to be on the Riverwalk. We'll have 1,200 people, probably around 350 Dirt World companies. One of the things that we heard time and time again was, I'm coming back next year. I just wish I would have brought more people. We've got some incredible speakers that are coming this year with Jesse Itzler and Chad Wright kind of kicking things off. We've got Dr. Jeffrey Smart. We've got Rich Jones. We've got, I mean, it's just an incredible lineup. And you can go to dirtworld.com to see the entire speaker lineup and whatnot. But again, it's all focused around this attracting, hiring, training, and retaining great people. It's all about leadership. And really, most importantly, it's about solutions and encouraging people and inspiring people to take action. This year, we're in the convention center in the Grand Hyatt. So it'll be a more interactive space for everyone. Where you can come in, interact with all of the sponsors. We'll have around 60 plus sponsors this year of the event. It's a great network and of people that are serving the dirt world. So last year, one of the things that we realized is like BuildWitt is attracting a lot of those innovative, early adopter type companies. And so they're showing up ready to kind of change, ready to kind of buck the status quo, ready to do things differently, like trying to figure out what's the latest and greatest way of running my business most effectively and efficiently, because they all are in this learn and grow, space and mode. An example of that, Ariat, our title sponsor, we had 279 companies last year. Of those 279, 94 companies that came to the summit signed up for Ariat Crew. And it's just like, it's pretty intriguing to me to be like, man, how many people have gone and exhibited at an event? You just don't get that kind of return. You just don't get that type of engagement and that willingness to kind of move forward. So again, tons of peer grouping, tons of networking, tons of leadership, lots of people sharing openly and transparently about what's working for them, what's not working for them. And it's going to be an incredible experience.
I love it. Well, I'm excited about it. Now tell people where is it going to be and what are the dates?
Yeah. So November 4, 5, and 6, it's going to be in San Antonio at the Riverwalk, Grand Hyatt, and the Convention Center. You can go to dirtworld.com to sign up for tickets, or if you're interested in sponsoring, better act fast. We're probably going to sell out in Q2. So
I love it. Well, I highly recommend it to anyone. We'll be there. We're sponsoring, we're bringing a good chunk of our team and probably a couple of customers as well. And we're looking forward to another great summit. I can tell you the speaker lineup alone is worth the ticket. And there's a lot of value in and outside of the meeting. And I'm looking actually forward to the workshops this year too.
100%. It's going to be great.
All right, Jason, this is one of my favorite parts of the show. So we bring it to a close in the construction world with some rapid fire questions. All right. So I'm going to ask you the questions. You give me the first thing that comes to mind and we'll go from there. All right.
Okay.
All right, here we go. What's the best advice you've ever received on a construction site?
Don't forget where you came from.
Interesting. Had you forgotten and someone needed to remind you?
No, it's so I'll never forget who said it and whether I've thought about it. Kelly Partington is who said it to me. He was a foreman. I was climbing the corporate ladder and moving on, and just out in the field having a conversation with him. He's like, "Man, you're going to be able to do some big things in this world," and he's like, "Just don't ever forget where you came from." Which I started on a shovel, and to be honest with you, like I'm an empathetic leader, and I really connect with people. And I just have such an appreciation for every individual, laborer, operator, truck driver, plant operator, you name it, no matter what it is that you're doing. It's just like, I never want to forget, what it's like to be in the grind 6 days a week, 7 days a week, 10, 12 hours a day. And so like a lot of what drives me every day in thinking about why are we partnering with First Form is because these are dirt world athletes, and I want to make sure that they're taking care of their bodies and that they're caring for themselves and that they're focusing on health and nutrition. And so I just like, it's that don't forget where you came from. It's like, you got to care for the people of the dirt world. And that was a huge learning lesson for me that I've carried with me for quite some time.
Yeah, that's just good advice for anything in life. I think, it's just humility, keep a presence about you. It goes both ways too. In this case, you're never as good as you might think you are. but you're also never as bad. And so giving yourself some good, humility on one side and grace on the other side is critical.
Amen.
All right. What's your go-to safety tip for newbies?
All right. Go-to safety tip for newbies is park far away from the job site, observe, and make sure that you are fully present when you walk up. I've seen so many people that are trying to park like they're going to the grocery store, and they want the front row parking spot. They want princess parking, and it never fails. They're in the wrong place at the wrong time. They get out, they're on their phone. They don't have all their gear on. They maybe throw on their hard hat. They're carrying their vest, so it's newbies. Park far away from the construction site. Be aware as to what's going on. Get your gear on and make sure that you're fully present when you're walking up. It's worth the extra steps and the extra time.
I love it. All right, pick one. You got a skyscraper, a bridge, or a tunnel?
Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that. What's the most underrated skill in the industry?
Teamwork. Teamwork. I think that, collaborating with your team is just absolutely critical, whether you're in the field or the office. Nothing gets done by an individual. And so if we can remove the ego and win as a team, it just changes the dynamics of a crew or an entire organization.
There's no doubt about it. And if you were awarded your dream job, what would it be?
This is going to sound terrible, but it's, I'm in it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm having an absolute blast. After a 25-year career, at an incredible organization, I left for the mission. I'm totally in my element. I'm having an absolute blast here at BuildWitt and serving the people of the dirt world. I was destined for this industry, but it's really become, a lifestyle for me. I don't feel like I work a single day. And as we work on, making it a better place, I just can't think of anything else anywhere else I'd rather be.
I love it. Well, I can tell you firsthand my opinion, having talked to you relatively shortly after you started till now, you were always interesting and excited about the job and what you're doing, but there's a whole different gear over the last 24 months, not just then and now, but I just mean progressively. And as all things evolved and things you guys have worked on and things have come into place, it's just easy to see from my perspective, having known you the whole time. So it's cool. It is cool.
Appreciate that.
I love it. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. To the moon.
All right. So we've covered BuildWitt, Dirt World. We've covered leadership, education, training. How can folks find you? What's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, just via email, jason.richmond@buildwitt.com. Once again, jason.richmond@buildwitt.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn or Instagram. It's Jason B. Richmond. So Jason B. Richmond on LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you're looking for, BuildWitt, it's just buildwitt.com or dirtworld.com.
Nice. And Aaron, what's the best way to connect with Aaron if you want to see his Instagram? What's Aaron's handle?
Yeah, it's just Aaron Witt, and he's on all the social channels, YouTube, and then definitely would encourage you to check out the Dirt Talk podcast. It's on all the different mediums for podcasting.
Yep, no doubt about it. Jason, I'm excited, man, to see what happens next year. I'm looking forward to getting this episode out to everybody, and you and I are going to be doing lots of talking and lots of stuff coming up here throughout the year. So you just keep in mind anything I can do to help you. And I appreciate everything you've already done.
100%. We're in this together.
No doubt, man. All right, everybody. That's been a wrap on this episode. I hope you guys liked it, enjoyed it. If you did, please share it. Let's support our friends over at BuildWitt. Look into the dirt world. If it feels right for you, sign up, register. If there's anything I can do to answer questions for you that you might not have been able to figure out, feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on our team. And of course, I'm sure Jason's willing to talk to everybody too. Jason, my friend, thanks very much. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Talk to you later. God bless you.